Right, back with the S3 again. It's it's taken a while to get back to this car because I've been working on the X1, but the reason I've still got this, I kind of wanted to keep it for a week or two just to drive it because I kind of like these cars, but it's never run quite right. It drives fine, it runs mint, but when you put your foot down, it's kind of hesitating, then it lets you have full boost suddenly, shoots off like a rocket, and then cuts all power and then turns back on again. It's like a cycle, and I'm not quite sure why it's doing it. I've read that it could be the cam sensor, which I'm going to do now. I'm thinking maybe it could be something to do with oil pressure, because it does flag up a low oil warning every now and again. So I'm going to drop the sump, I'm going to take the oil level sensor out, clean all that up, just make sure there's nothing in the oil pickup pipe, and put it back together and see if that makes any difference at all. Because now the X1's out of the way, ready for MOT, I wouldn't mind driving this a little bit, especially with the weather being nice for a change. So I'm going to get on with that today and we'll see where we get to. Alright then, before we get to any of that work, the first thing I'm going to do is change the spark plugs. Now this has been serviced very recently, which you've seen in one of the videos, but it ended up having Bosch spark plugs in it in the service kit that I bought, and I had a feeling, and now I've done a bit of research, that it really, now because this engine's been tuned, it doesn't want these Bosch spark plugs in it. It wants some NGKs, some better spark plugs. So these are the NGK iridiums that are going to go in it. I don't think this is really going to make any difference. This is just something that I had a feeling I should have done really as I was servicing it, so I'm just going to do this anyway. On the Honda race cars I have these spark plugs and they're brilliant, so it's for 40 quid, it's just getting them, simple as. Now that the spark plugs are out, I'm going to have a little look down inside the engine just to see if I can see any obvious problems down here with the Borescope. So this is cylinder 1. Looks fine, a little bit of unburnt fuel. It might have a slightly leaky injector possibly on this cylinder, but all in all looks quite good. Nothing really in there to moan about. So what we're going to do really is just check all 4 cylinders just to make sure. It's just one of them things, if you can look down there, then do it while the spark plugs are out, because you never know what you're going to see down there. Obviously the first cylinder looks okay, this one looks absolutely spotless really. Number 3, same scenario. Once I get the camera down there, it's not easy to actually get it down there. And again, cylinder 4, or 1, whichever way you name them on the engine. But either way, all the cylinders look fine, all the pistons look absolutely fine. Just wanted to see if it had a load of unburnt oil or anything like that in there, any signs of damage or anything like that, if it made that contact with the valves before. But the only thing really is just that little bit of unburnt fuel in this cylinder, which, as I say, it's got nothing to worry about really. I know the injectors can leak sometimes, it might not even be that, it might just be how it's rested after the last time it was started, I'm not sure, but either way, that's fine. So next up, putting the new NGK spark plugs back in it. Obviously torque these all to spec. And next up, the coil packs go back on top of those. 4 coil packs, then the wiring harness, and then it's good to go. We'll take it for a spin, but actually after doing this, I did take it for a run, and it didn't make any difference. Maybe it run a little bit happier, but it hasn't cured this problem that we're here to cure, so we'll get on with that now. Right, we've got the sump off, and yeah, there were quite a bit of sludge in the bottom of it. And also, one thing there was quite a lot of was the RTV sealant that you actually seal the sump back on with. So maybe someone's had this off and just put too much RTV sealant on it. Now, when I was getting it off, it took some serious effort to break the seal on it, and you could see around the edges it was squirting out with this like silicone sealant. It's not a good idea to put too much in, because if it goes into the engine, it blocks the oil fill pipe up, and yeah, it's just not a good thing. So based on what I've seen inside the sump now I've cleaned it, I'm going to set the oil fill pipe off and have a look in there to see if that's the same thing. I'm guessing it will be, and that could well be the issue that we're having. So I'm going to clean this out. I'm going to take the oil fill sensor off, clean that out as well, and then get the oil fill pipe out. Right, so what I'll do now is I'll set that to one side, and I'll use a load of brake cleaner and some compressed air, and clean that out. See what we can push out of it, see if it's got any contaminants in it, stopping it working properly. So this is the cam sensor that I've changed already. The bit of luck that'll, well, we don't know what's wrong with it, but that's a 35 quid part, so we'll give that a try. But this is the oil pickup pipe, and there is a bit of rubbish in it actually. So this might be the problem, because the car, it runs fine, it doesn't show any oil warnings until you bring it down off the revs and let it just tick over if it's dropping revs. So I'm thinking maybe just on idle it's not able to suck through this enough. So I'm going to blow that out with a load of brake cleaner, get everything out of it. Yeah, there is quite a lot of contamination in there actually. So we'll get that cleaned. Right, this has come up lovely. There was all sorts coming out of there, mostly though the RTV sealant. So that's clearly what's happened. I think someone's put a bit too much sealant on back when they're putting the sump back on, and yeah, and a bit of crap came out of this as well, but not a lot. I think it was just worth cleaning out anyway while it were all apart. So we'll put this back on now. Right, if you look at the sump now, I'll show you an example of too much RTV sealant, because this has clearly got too much on it, because I found it everywhere in the pickup pipe, you name it, just in the bottom of the sump. So this is too much. When it's like this, it's actually inside the engine, and bits break off and get picked up by the oil pickup pipe, and that's not what you want, really not what you want. It causes oil starvation, and if you're not careful, it kills your engine. Right, now all that's cleaned up, I've got rid of all the excess sealant off the bottom of the sump. So I need to go back under the car, do exactly the same with the bottom of the engine block, clean all the excess sealant off that, make sure it's nice and clean for the new mating services, ready for the new sealant that obviously I'm not going to put too much on it like the last guy did, because it's just a bit of a nightmare really. If you start doing silly things like that, you're just going to damage your engine. So I'll get back under it now, put the car back together, and then we'll probably wait till the morning, let it all dry properly, and then take it for a spin. Right, we're giving all that a day to dry, so we'll get it started now. Just leave it up on the ramps for 15 minutes or so, just check there's no oil leaks, and then take it for a spin, see if we've actually achieved anything this time. Right, first drive after these little fixes that we've just done. Just fingers crossed that that's gonna make a difference, or at least cure one of the problems, because this oil light coming on is just ridiculous, because it's definitely got it's got enough oil in it. I absolutely know that, so we'll take it out now, see what it does. So many systems on these cars rely on oil pressure to adjust everything in the engine bay, so if it's not getting the correct oil pressure, then no wonder it's been upset. I mean, I need to be careful what I say, because I've only put my foot down once, so we'll go a little bit further with it, just see what it does. But yeah, so far gotta love people who don't indicate, haven't you? run if they do require decent oil pressure. The oil light that came on before, that'd have come on by now, I think, if that were a problem still. So that seems to be fixed. Yeah, good little car this. To say what it's been through, it's had a hard life, it really has, but yeah, it's a bit of TLC. Good little motor. So a bit of a success story with this Audi finally, after all the work it's been done. I mean, if you've seen the other videos, you know it's been on fire. I bought it crash damaged. It has been through hell and back, and it's come back to life somehow. It's been running rough. This seems to have cured it. Like I said earlier on in the video, I'm not done with this car yet. I want to keep it for a little bit. I've got a few things planned now. Someone said to me that it's probably as quick as the M3 now. I'm not having that, so I may try do a little Matt Watson video on this and see if I can get the M3 and this together and see just how quick it actually is, because it is a rapid little thing, to be fair. I don't know what map it's got on it, but it certainly moves. But the M3 is a 4 litre V8, so my money's on that winning. And I may even try and bring the Honda, the S2000 out, if I can arrange somewhere to put them all up against each other. That might be a bit of fun. So if you've liked watching this video, please subscribe, keep watching, hit that like button, and like I say, more to come with this car, much more, so just watching.